Hey ladies, what's up? It's Brittany here with another episode of the LadyStrong Fitcast. And today we are talking to July member of the month, Nilam, about shattering the old you.
So the big question is this. How were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are LadyStrong Fitness.
Hey ladies, what's up? Nilam, welcome to the podcast and congratulations for being our July member of the month. How are you doing today on this fine, sunny Thursday?
I'm doing well. I can't believe that I've been sticking with this for 6 months now.
Crazy, huh? Time flies. And honestly, I feel like you've been here a lot longer than that. You say 6 months, and I feel like it's been way longer than that. So, and you've had some pretty great changes in your short 6 months here with us, and we're going to get into that. But I want to start today by just letting you tell us a little bit about yourself and honestly how you got to LadyStrong and why you decided to join.
So I actually moved recently to the Schaumburg area. Well, recently being within the last year. And I just, it's a lot of changes in going on in the last couple of years. And I just really wanted to get back to looking, concentrating on my fitness and just seeing some changes where in my 30s and early 40s, I could easily work out if I saw the scale creeping up, and I got to a place that I felt really comfortable, and I started to see those results not being as attainable as time went on. Yeah. And so when I was searching for the next, fitness journey, part of my fitness journey, I found LadyStrong Fitness, and I thought, this really sounds like something that would be, exactly what I'm looking for, because it's not only a fitness routine, it's a little bit mixing it up from what I typically did in my routine, but also incorporated that nutrition element that I think I needed to really concentrate on.
For sure. Yeah, I love that. So you said, I want to talk a little bit about your kids, because your kids are teenagers, right? You got one that you're going to a college visit for tomorrow, which is, I bet, kind of crazy for you to think about taking your oldest, your first baby to college. But talk to me a little, you mentioned in your bio that your family's been really supportive. So talk to me a little bit about how they have been supporting you on this journey, because I know that sometimes it's hard for women to find that support from home.
Yeah, I mean, they are really busy because they're both in high school, both my daughters, and they have lots of events, and I want to be there for their sports events. And so I really appreciate the numerous time slots that you all offer, because then I can adjust my schedule week to week and make sure that I could be there for their events. But if I can't make it happen, usually my husband will say, don't worry, go to your class and I'll take care of this. And that's what I mean by supportive. And the kids kind of understand that fitness is important to me. I actually worked out all the time. And so they know that that's not something I take lightly. So they don't also expect that when it's my time, they know that I'm going to follow through and I'm committed to that. So they accept it, and they're good with it. So that's what I mean by being supportive.
They know that it's mom's time. And you had mentioned in here that you've been kind of on and off with fitness for over 25 years, which is incredible that you have stuck with your journey this long. And I think that that's just a testament to the success that you have seen in such a short amount of time here. So I kind of want to get into some of your results. So like I told you before we jumped on here, I did pull your InBody scan. And in 6 months, you've added 3 pounds of lean muscle, lost 2.5% body fat. You've increased your basal metabolic rate, which is, for those of you watching this or listening to this, that is the amount of calories that you burn at rest, which means your body is becoming more efficient at burning calories with the food that you're consuming, which is great. And then also you have a normal BMI right now. And I think what sometimes, and I'm going to get into kind of the resetting of expectations with you, is that when you have a normal BMI, it becomes so much harder to really see big jumps in weight loss and muscle gain and fat loss, because your body is kind of, I would say it like a homeostasis. It's happy because it's happy at the weight that you're at. You're not carrying around a bunch of excess fat or pounds. At this point, it's just small tweaks, you brought up your nutrition, which I want to get into a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about resetting expectations as you progress in life. You said in my 30s and 40s is a little bit different than what it is now, and probably even in your 20s is different than it is now. So how have you began to reset those expectations for yourself and kind of shed those old expectations and create new ones for yourself?
I guess if I start off with the nutrition piece, a lot of times what I would do is say, okay, I'm eating too many carbs, and I would try to adjust that and cut that. And over the years, I just felt like I was like cutting meals and like really restricting calories to really helps like jumpstart that weight loss or whatever change I was looking to see. Or even if I would incorporate weights, I would see muscle tone a lot faster when I was younger. So I realize now that I'm kind of getting to my late 40s that it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Like, I read lots of articles that it's like every year that you go beyond a certain age, you have muscle loss. And so that's kind of why I reset my expectations to say I need to have a different fitness routine. I need to ramp down the cardio maybe because it's rough on my knees or my ankles or whatever, and I really need to work on gaining the lean muscle mass. And so I kind of reset my workout expectations. Like I used to love cardio because it just felt really good to get out there and get sweaty, and then you just felt like you accomplished something. But I do enjoy, the HIIT workouts that we do in class. I didn't know I would enjoy it that much, but I do. So it's kind of reset my expectations and the things that I like to do to keep in shape.
For sure. Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on your head, right? As you age, it is a scientific fact that you do lose muscle mass as you continue to age. But the counteraction of that is focusing on your nutrition like you are currently doing, but also adding in that resistance training that you do in the LSF workouts too, to really help kind of counteract that. But in 6 months, you've put on 3 pounds of lean muscle, which is a pretty significant amount of muscle in such a short amount of time. So, and I feel like that was you really kind of just started the nutrition program, maybe like, 2-3 months ago. So I want to talk a little bit about how that Strong Her Nutrition program has kind of opened your eyes to what your day-to-day nutrition has to look like for yourself right now to, continue to see progress.
Yeah. I've changed a lot of what I eat. I think I didn't really know what great protein sources were. And I like how there's no demonizing any type of food either. So I still feel like I've always been the type of person that, if I really have a craving for something, I could have a little bit and that satisfies me. So that works in my favor. But I like that there's no food that's demonized. But then now I know which foods are a better source of protein. And if it's not sitting well with my system, I think the nutrition program and Dawn, who's helped me quite a bit, has given me ideas of what I can replace that with. And that's what I really, really needed. And with that, I've been able to discover things I actually really like, and I could keep incorporating week to week into my diet. And my kids eat my food too now. So now I have to buy more of it.
I love that. That's so great. That's great. Because that is, I think, a challenge for a lot of people is like, I'm finding myself cooking 2 meals because my kids are picky and this and that. So it probably works in your favor pretty well that you're able to not have to cook multiple meals for multiple people because your entire family is kind of eating what you want. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that no food is off limits. And I think that is such a good perspective to have, is that because that also you brought up from the past, like cutting carbs, cutting calories, cutting meals, like that is an older way of looking at nutrition. But now it's like no food is off limits, but there are foods that get us closer to our goals and there are foods that get us further away from it, right? So it's like that's the balance of like, I just got to choose more this way than that way if I really want to continue to see progress, but I can still enjoy the things I want to enjoy when I want to enjoy it, which is really great. So I think the last question that I want to ask, 2 questions I want to ask for you is, what do you think your expectations are going to be for yourself moving forward now that you know what you know after these last 6 months with your workouts and with your new nutrition? Like in the next 6 months, where are you in your head with like the realistic expectations that you now have for yourself and the results that you want to see moving forward?
Yeah, I think that I still have, there's still some gains that I can achieve. And I think I have to take things in life kind of like segmentally because everything is so crazy and busy all the time. So I'm going to take the next 6 months to see if I can keep maintaining this and go to the next level. So that's what I would really love to work with the coaches on is, now that I've been able to make this a routine and see some gains, like how can I take that to the next level? And I think I mean, I don't expect that I would be in the same place I was in my early 20s, but I think that I could be my best self going into my 50s, right? And so that's really what I want to, I guess, see as a progression goal for myself.
I love that. And I think, you know, to that point is you're excited to see what's next. You kind of created this baseline for yourself now. You've seen progress in the last 6 months, but you also have now, okay, now I know what to expect. Now I know what to do. And now I really can take it to that next level because I've got these good habits. I've got a good workout routine. I've got a nutrition coach. Like now, you know, by December, I want to, you know, add another 3 pounds of muscle and I want to lose another 3% body fat. And I want to see myself getting stronger in classes. And so I think that that's such a transition from where you were maybe, you know, in your 20s and 30s to where you are now, because you're still seeing progress. It's just a different kind of progress. And now that you're seeing that, like, or you've kind of come to the conclusion that, like, yeah, it's not going to be the same, but that doesn't matter. Progress is still progress, no matter what it looks like. That's really, I think, going to ramp up, you know, what you see in the next 6 months, which I'm really, really excited for. So last question to end this. We end every podcast with this, is if you could give advice for somebody maybe brand new to LadyStrong, maybe they just signed up in like the last, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, or somebody who's going to be watching this who has not been into our studio yet, what is the best advice that you can give for them, you know, coming into this program, you know, to change their life?
Yeah, I think it can be really intimidating to start something new, something that you know, really haven't given a chance before. But what I've really liked is that it's like I see people with all types of exercise experience and fitness levels, and everyone is so encouraging. So I think just, you know, kind of come in with an open mind and you will find your pace. I think that's what it is. And if it ever seems too overwhelming, I would say definitely talk to the coaches because they have really great techniques in making you ease into it. And then it will become a part of your routine. You'll, you know, want to make sure that you schedule ahead of time and keep coming in repeatedly. So I think that accountability and the help that the coaches give is really key because it can be overwhelming in the beginning to start something new.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you hit the nail on the head, right? Is like, we are a community. We are there to help each other out. There's all different fitness levels that you see coming into the studio, but we as a team and as a community are always welcome and wanting people to come in and, you know, and to see those results and to change their lives. So that's really great advice. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today on today's podcast. Nilam, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to catch up with you when you do your next scan and see where you're at, and even where you're at in December. So have a great rest of your day, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.